my god, when did I do that? When did I do that? How long has it been like that? How long has it been like that? Oh no, how long has it been like that? I haven't looked at it in a minute. Oh no. How long has it been like that? Well, I guess I'll find out when I look at the VOD. Clearly your Saturdays are stacked, so I'll make sure your Sundays are full. Oh god. Fine, I get it. I need you to find I must have hit it when I'm going to get the mouse. I need you to, because it was whenever talking to Sierra, it was on the screen, I think. I need you to find a local musician. Musician? I don't use this as the electro swing or some other awful. Last name Powell or Parker. And that's all you got? That'll be in David Assure's circle. Wait, Assure, you're working that? That should be more than enough for a clever kid like yourself to go on. Also, thank you for letting me know. Oh my god, why didn't I see that? I just looked at it, see it's on the starting screen. Excuse me? Don't go expecting any miracles. I need this soon. Within the hour. Ideally. Within the... You know I have other clients, don't you? Other clients who actually pay you on time? A musician. Find him. Okay. Even talking over the phone, you're very animated, Adonia. What do you mean? Just that you're very expressive when you talk to people. Of course I'm expressive. If I wasn't, how would anyone know what I'm thinking? I see. I keep that in mind as we... Wait. You're really expect to tag along? Of course, Father was... Yeah, I know you want to. But why should I let you? Because I'm capable and helpful? Aw, look, she's capable and helpful. Look at her. Uh-huh. I mean it. I can take notes for you. I can move heavy objects, and I'll learn to do more. Just get a little peeved. How? I'll subject every individual we encounter into a basic survey to procure biographical information on them while I gain experience in questioning, subjecting them to torture. I can help, Adonia. How fast can you fill out forms? Fast. Congratulations, you're halfway to being a paralegal. Sarah! Or is it Sarah or Sierra? It's gotta just be Sarah, right? Date of birth, August 29th. Okay. Centimeters, 160. Centimeters. Wait, really goddamn heavy. Blood type, not a occupation, unemployed. Paralegal? Likes martial arts, carbonation, and collarbones. Collarbones? Why collarbones? Dislike static, blackouts, and elevators. Talents. I'm good at a lot of things. Skills. I'm not sure how skills differ from talents. I also like the 180-degree rule? What's the 180-degree rule? Now I'm going to be asking that question. Or I'll Google it. Congratulations, you're halfway to being a paralegal. You coming? Right away, Adonia. I like how she calls her Adonia. 11:45 a.m., July 1st, 2086. Noble Employees Housing Building. Platier. Penthouse dining room. A crime scene. Oh, brother. Here we go. Here. Pretty quiet elevators, huh? Dining room. Could have taken the next one. It's a busy building, detective. Can't hold up everyone else on our account. Anything you'd like to grumble at me before I start? Don't touch anything. I don't care that you're wearing gloves. I have been to crime scenes before, you know. Long before the police get there, in many cases. Woo! Adonia, it will be used many times. I see that. Do you at least have the autopsy report? No. Are you serious? I don't. She doesn't? The report should have come in hours ago. It would have taken this long unless the cause of death was still. Then I'd settle for a summary of the preliminary findings. Any emergency call was made shortly after 8 p.m. last night via the home security system. Emergency medical services had a VTOL in the air within minutes that landed in the penthouse helipad 808. Dr. Sher was found unconscious with a low blood pressure and a weak heartbeat. He wasn't breathing. In flight auto triage administered artificial CPR while in transit to Gatesfield Memorial. He was declared dead a few minutes after being taken in the emergency wing. I see. And the cause of death is being investigated. Make an educated guess. He stopped breathing, so they gave him oxygen. His heart stopped pumping, so they made a machine take over. His brain activity dropped to 0, and there wasn't anything else they could do. It was poison, wasn't it? What kind? You don't know, do you? Ugh. They don't either. Like I said, man, we don't have the autopsy report yet. Why are you certain it was poison, Adonia? Couldn't it have been an accidental overdose? If he had overdosed on a commercial drug, even a pre-med, students would have spotted it on the hospital's intake screening. Cool. They would have been able to pump his stomach, neutralize his bloodstream, and he would have lived. But he didn't. So it must have been something deadly, a compound designed solely to kill. A fast-acting deadly poison that causes respiratory failure, the list can't be that long. Even though process of elimination, the medical examiner should have identified it by now, unless you suspect a designer drug, don't you, detective? Why isn't you're only quick on the uptick when it suits you? Nothing else makes sense given we have what we know and what we don't. But the CDCA decriminalized and categorized all recreational drugs. Guess you aren't entirely clueless about politics. So, whatever Father overdosed on should have been in the hospital's database? A series of laws passed in 2060 to decriminalize all narcotics use and establish the Bureau of Narcotics Oversight to administrate the product licensing and distribution of and taxation of drugs across the country. Overwhelmed by civil unrest and eager to replenish government coffers, the CDCA were intent to reduce the backlog of criminal cases across the country and provide much-needed tax income while also incentivizing immigration within the promise of amnesty. In what was considered a domino effect, other major nations around the globe passed comparable laws to build up their own depleted war chest and revitalize their local economies. So-called white wave and global NFC overturned the international drug trafficking market in just a few years. The gray wave followed soon after as money-starved criminal organizations waged economic and literal war against multinational corporations for dominance of the new gray market. Fierce competition for government license to produce classic narcotics emerged alongside a race to develop new and more powerful designer drugs. and to monopolize on their sales in the months it would take the government to identify and legalize them. While rates and addictions and overdose deaths have dropped since their peaks in the last 2 decades, the dangers associated with these untested designer drugs and drug distributors' eagerness to earn new customers has continued to fuel debate over the legacy of the CDCA and the white wave as a whole. Cool. Crazy shit to learn. You need to update your definitions. You're confusing designer drugs for recreational drugs. Designer drugs. In the literal sense, designer merely donates to any drug that is custom made as a purpose to mass produce, typically outside the normal pharmaceutical industry standards in common particles. However, designer drugs, DDs, are legacy narcotics formulated to produce a recreational high. While the CDCA and the white wave was followed, it's legally and taxated virtually all known narcotics. It did so alongside extensive documentation and study, and those laws could only apply to drugs that already existed. And drugs patented after the white wave must go through approval processes, registrations with the national and international authorities at a time-consuming process that can take anywhere from 6 months to several years. This time lag creates a window of opportunity within where an organization, criminals, groups can step into meeting the demands of form of narcotic, what has become known as riding the wave in this new formal in the international drug trade, pitting mob chemists against the corporate laboratories in a race to develop newer and more powerful, more easily habitable forming drug and cornering the market on them before legalization catching up to them. Use word vomit. What is the difference? Recreational drugs are decriminalized and sold through pharmaceuticals after years of testing and mountains of paperwork. Well, the average designer drug was invented last week in a 19-year-old line cook's bathroom on the other side of the globe. Hospitals can't know the proper countermeasures for an overdose of a drug that didn't exist 48 hours ago. Came across makeshift labs all the time when I was a uniform. The equipment's cheap and widely available. Black market cooks, gray market peddlers, and white-collar lobbyists all chase each other tails in a long line to find the next big hit. Oh, so we're talking dealing in drugs. Not actually dealing drugs, we're talking about people that do. CDCA didn't change shit. More people die from ODs than ever before. Only difference is their families finding them in the living room and not beat cops finding them in street corners. Real comforting, I'm sure. Damn. From the streets to the living room. Damn. If it wasn't you talking, I'd say that was a criticism of law enforcement. Not law enforcement, just law. A cop judging the law. Interesting. Assuming it was a designer drug, that would certainly make things more complicated. For the insurance guys, maybe. For us, however, he used to do it. He still killed it. He used it to do it. He still himself. Or didn't himself, if you insist. I'm going to take a look around now. Yeah, sure, make yourself at home. What's with that face for? I thought there would be an outline. An outline? Around where they found Father. Like in the movies. Like in film. Connected to the Police's network brings up their ARCS file. Augmented reality crime scene, I see. We going in. We diving in. We about to get investigating. Reality crime scene. there is an outline. And so this is where he died at the hospital. This is just where the medics found him. And it's the sensors and cameras that they were wearing that created the basis of the arcs. They didn't realize they were walking into a crime scene, but their body cams gathered all data at the same. Where do we start? You can start by following behind me and trying to be as quiet as possible. Starting to get a feel for when she's pouting even without looking. Says that's when the medics arrived. He was on the floor face up. Does that tell you something? Hey, if you're going to drink a glass of blank, would you be sitting or standing when you did it? I'd find it very difficult to speculate on that hypothetical scenario. The seat by his body is pulled out. If he was seated, then when he lost consciousness, it would expect him to find him slumped over the table. But he wasn't found slumped over. No, he wasn't. And if he had been standing when he lost consciousness, I would think he would have fallen forward or at least collapsed less neatly. So what you can conclude from that, Adonia? Only that I'm missing something. Lots of stuff to look through. Check. Chessboard. And a data pad with a series of characters on it. E4, C5, NF3, E6, D4, CXD4, NXD4? It's a message, right? Or is there only 3 pages? Well, I guess I'm saving over old saves. It's a message, isn't it? Secret message, perhaps, sir. Black has checkmate in 40 moves. Well, a robot that's good at chess. We ought to put you in a museum. But I'll take your word for it. What do you mean? Do you not play, Adonia? No, especially not against David. Well, that is to be expected. Anyone who challenged Father to a battle of wits would naturally grow tired of losing. Every game starts the same. Each player has the same pieces, the same moves, the same options. It's a true test of wit, strategy, and forethought. To me, it's always seemed too boring, too fair. The smarter player wins every time. And that is something you take fault with? Of course! What's a gal like me supposed to win in a game like that? Inspect. One chair knocked over, probably where David was sitting. One chair pulled out a party of 2. He never cared much for socializing, but he enjoyed hosting. Contradictory guy. Sir, police androids monitoring the scene. Almost mistake them for the real thing, the way they stand there trying to look important. Like an indoor dog taking its first trip to the park. Pardon? Why are you looking at it like you've never seen an android before? Because I haven't in person. You've never seen another android? David didn't even let you have a mirror? Brutal. Just scan its gin if you're that curious. Unless that's considered too forward or whatever. Look. Admired this view. The buildings gleam with the reflection of holograms and sunlight, and the shadows obscure all the run-down, rotting parts of town. Maybe the view's secondary. Maybe all anyone really wants is to put as much distance between them and the street level as possible. Is it possible that a witness could have seen something through these windows? Not through these windows, no. David installed wide spectrum auto tint in all his homes, all his cars. I didn't know that. Well, you wouldn't know unless you were viewing the penthouse from more than... Why didn't he care so much about his windows? So people wouldn't watch him. He was a little paranoid. Better take a closer look. Ooh. Inspect. Spilled alcohol. The arc shows how it looked last night before it evaporated. No foreign substance in the puddle. It's clean. So does that mean whatever this spill came from must have been clean as well? Check. 2 cups, 1 empty, knocked over, and 1 mostly empty. These look cheap. Did his guest bring them? I've seen them before in the basement's liquor cabinet. He kept these lying around? I knew he re-gifted those crystal glasses I got him. Dang. It's like, I bought him those things. There's not foreign in the upright one, so it can't have been poisoned. Results are inconclusive on other cup, however. Looks bone dry. Must have been nothing but fumes left by the time this was considered a crime scene. Just not enough there for them to test. Inconclusive could mean... It means inconclusive, that's all. Cheer up. Read me the results of the fingerprints. Father's prints are on both cups as expected, but there's someone else on the upright cup, so someone else must have been with him last night. Slow down. All that proves is that someone else touched the cup. That doesn't tell us that when they did. Since we don't know whose print belonged to, Adonia, why don't we know who the prints belong to? Are the prints flagged as unidentified, or... No. There's space for a name, but the field is black? Shit, am I already that late to the action? Detective Reyes. Yeah? There's a second set of prints on this cup. Is there a form you'd like me to sign? Doesn't matter how nicely you ask, some people just can't answer. You should have known that damn well, Madam Counselor. I was afraid you'd say that. I don't understand it, don't you? What does this mean? It means whoever those prints belong to has very proactive representation. Those prints belong to a witness, as you've guessed. You're more than welcome to their testimony. But their identity is... The department is being very considerate of the witness's privacy, out of respect for their time and appreciation for their cooperation. Fine, forget the name. That easily? Samphanas are always an option, but I'm short on time. Ooh, evidence. Whiskey spill. Okay. And this... Samphanas. Legal order issued subpoenas, which state behalf of the prosecution or the defense that compels the addressed party to give testimony, provides information, or turn over evidence. Failure to comply with the subpoena will result in being charged with contempt of court. Well, yep. Once a subpoena has been made, you gotta give it. I guess I should know that. Just have to say for themselves, detective. To paraphrase, they came to see Dr. Schur last night. The two of them talked, and they had a drink together. Then the doctor got sick, so the activity in the emergency system from the panel in the kitchen. The EMTs came, took them both to the hospital. Schur's condition got worse. All the witnesses' vitals were normal. So the witness had their vitals taken. There should be a record of their admission at Gatesfield. And that's it? I'm guessing you didn't just take all of that on faith. Penumbra was set up in most of the rooms on this floor. Everything the witness told us was cooperable by the building's own surveillance system. So yes, we can guarantee that the witness never put anything in Schur's drink. Guessing that I can't have the keys to the penumbra, can I? Not until the witness's lawyers are done reviewing it. Lawyers, plural. I don't have time to trade jabs with the law offices of John, Johnson, 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 & Johnson. Say, how about I give you their business card? The law offices of Kochler, Gustav, Prince and Prince. I was close. No way I'd be getting any client information out of them directly. If all you bloodsuckers want to get together and tear each other apart, text me before you start. Oh, God. I'd like to watch. Yeah, I bet you'd like to watch. What does that even mean? I don't know. Needed a moment to think. So that was it. One chat, one peek at the cams, and you've already eliminated them as a suspect. Look, they were searched. They didn't have any poison, any drugs, not even a stick of gum. Even if they somehow did have poison on them, camera footage confirms they had no opportunity to use it. They drank from the same bottle as far as the department's concerned, they were nearly the second victim. But they aren't dead or even ill from the sound of things. David's cup. So you think he poisoned his own cup beforehand, then poured for the both of them from a safe bottle. That's what the evidence is telling us. There's nothing in the bottle, in the witness's cup. Right, cup. Saliva and fingerprints match an unknown individual. Contains no traces of foreign elements. Cup. But after drinking from his cup, he prepared himself. He felt ill and the witness did not. Nisher died with a foreign substance in his body. An unidentified foreign substance. By poison. I get that you were close and simple explanations are all that I said. Aren't all that satisfy, but that's life. One last thing. You just said he prepared his cup himself. Did you see that on camera? He left the parlor to get the drinks and came back with his already poured. The witness said he got them from the basement. The witness said that, not the cameras. There's no cams in the lab or the basement. That seems like security hazard. Why would Noble not set things up more carefully? The intentional, if cams of his lab ever got hacked, considered could steal the IP and kick Noble's monopoly to the curb. Right, David did comply about Noble's weird protocols for combating corporate espionage. At least we can take comfort in knowing that Father was alone when he... Yeah, that's worth investigating. Oop, I got more evidence. Statement made by the senior witness. Something is a little fishy, though. Rose River Whiskey, 12 years old. Ooh. Aged wine. Aged whiskey. You recognize it? Sure, he was more than partial to the brand. It's a good brand. Only a bit overpriced, which is the bargain of a lifetime in David's world. It appears that the police have already tested its contents. No foreign matters present was their conclusion. Is it possible that the police missed the poison? No, even if they can't identify the poison, they can detect the presence of by comparing the sample of the whiskey to a bottle of the off-the-store shelf. So we can eliminate the possibility that the bottle was poisoned. We have to find our smoking gun elsewhere. Read. Password's locked, but already cracked by the police, it seems. All the docs were take home safe, nothing spicy. Well, when was it last used? 7:48 p.m. Ooh. still reading work emails only a few minutes before he committed. Morbid. A lot of messages marked priority that breadcrumb their way back to an article. In a stunning and heroic episode, one of our nation's brave soldiers and their life saved by a noble android in a way that no other competitor's products could. A brave private named Blank was wounded during a military operation whose exact nature and location is currently classified, of course, bleeding badly and far from the nearest triage station. He was carried to safety by his fellow freedom fighter, an Animate 16 Enforcer, one of the few warm androids being currently tested out in the armed forces. But the android didn't just sit there and wait for the evac. It opened up its own arteries and pumped life saving UD, universal donor, synthetic plasma into the young man's veins, stabilizing him long enough for him to reach a military hospital. I have no doubt he'd be dead if there was any other android fighting alongside him, said one commanding officer who asked not to be named. I always thought Noble was only good at making ads that look good. Now I know they've got something inside them that no one else can compete with. So well deserved. Noble's warm androids proven themselves to be worth the price tag. And them some and people in the capital are paying attention. Okay, I'm gonna get up for a second, go get a drink really, really fast, because my mouth is dry as hell. Oh! All this reading noise. Good thing the fridge is only a few steps away. It's certainly an interesting idea. Senator Mathings, terrible name, said when asking about committing to a military contract for Noble to provide the armed forces with warm models. While additional details about the incident have remained closely guarded, the net is already ablaze with talk. It could be fabricated. This is an article that I've seen going around. But why would Noble have it marked as priority? They rushed to pat each other. They weren't in any rush to pat each other on the back over it, even though they'd won themselves a real prize. The military contract, right? Articles. Yeah, military contract. PR is good, but the whiskey. The military contract makes the most sense. Yeah. They have the excuse they need to pressure the military into contracting warm androids. Can't dismiss the expensive upgrade as an unnecessary now that it's saved a soldier's life. This time next year, there'll be pink oxidized fluid being split all over the globe. On this side of the room, which leaves the kitchen. She said there's camera footage of the dining room showing David and his guests. What about in here? Only camera in the kitchen is the one mounted on the call terminal. The console took a snap image then when the witness ran in to contact emergency services. May I see it? Unless you scrap the witness's face off the picture. Don't tempt me. Inspect. Unwashed dish. 3 unwashed dishes and a single glass. Whereas these dishes haven't been scanned for prints yet. And I just assumed you might want to do your job. Yeah, there are prints. Most match the victim, but there's also... Huh? Hey, don't sneak up on me like that. All I did was walk over to you. You knocked over the salt, Adonia. Was focused on the task at hand. I didn't realize tunnel vision was a selling point on your mod. Adonia, the salt. As I was saying, the witness's prints are on the glass. That glass in the sink. They were drinking from cups in the parlor. Did you see a glass on camera? No. So when did they touch the this glass? You need to toss it over your shoulder. Witness must have thought about getting the guy some water, but would have just choked on it if they tried. I think this glass was the murder weapon. It's bad luck, Adonia. Whacked him on the back of the head so fast it went between video frames. That's genius. You should go through the footage frame by frame to prove your theory. Yeah. Mature. It's bad luck. What have you been going on about the salt? Shouldn't a machine be above petty superstition? It's not a superstition, it's an ancient wisdom. Ancient wisdom. Give me one logical reason to care then. If too much salt spills onto your food, it'll make you gag. Maybe it's on me for setting the bar too low there. Wait, did I actually get salt shaker? A salt shaker that was accidentally knocked over during the investigation. The cap was loose, and so salt spilled all over the countertop next to the sinks. Bad omen. Maybe it's on me for setting the bar too low. Okay, let's inspect this. Messy workspace, not a pristine kitchen. Super pristine kitchen. David was a good cook, but only for others. Unless he had a guest, he happily eat instant ramen and protein bars for all 3 meals, or 2, or 1. Outside some food prep be found, not so much as a cheese board. So whoever his guest was, they must have shown up unannounced. Check. Emergency call was made. What time did the call go out? 8:04. Before you ask, the witness left the parlor at 8:03. Not enough time for them to alter the scene. I wasn't going to ask that. When did the medics arrive? 8:08, remember? Hell of a response time for a penthouse. Private EMS came by air. Yeah, they landed on VTOL's pad. You saw outside, took him to Gatsfield. The very best if you can afford it. Looking around here seems like he could afford a lot. He got his insurance through his employer, just like most people. Kadia's executive plan 4 isn't like most people, counselor. He had executive level. Not like most people at all. But not yet. Penumbra security console. Okay. Good. The water glass. And then his executive plan? 3 levels. Employers provide plans that outrank it. Nothing left to look at is the fridge. David's fridge. Normally, I wouldn't go poking in the pantry at a crime scene, but this was a poisoning. Some white wine chilling in the drawer. Just white wine just chilling in the drawer. Cheap liquor stuffed in the icebox. Old habits. Whereas you said he left the parlor and came back with that whiskey from the basement. Huh? That's what the cam shows, yeah. There's plenty of drink right here, and unlike the cabinet downstairs, it's actually cold. Must have wanted Rose River in particular. What's that look for? You hungry? I am an android. I do not get hungry. Are you being sarcastic? Only mostly. I thought you said you required organic nourishment. I do ingest organic substances, but that doesn't mean that I experience hunger as you do. So when you don't ingest organic substances for a long time, you become tired. What a great feature. And when I'm done digesting it, I don't need to know. I did investigate everything. Survey the crime scene. Yeah. So do you think you know what happened? Detective, is his body still at the hospital morgue? Yeah, he's at Gatsfield. Along with 100 noble Megs who've all called dibs. Then I'll just have to cut in line. Sarah, give me a ride to Gatsfield Memorial. What? You can do that, can't you? I can, but I need your payment information to get that. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, understood. On my way down. Got it. Sync complete. Set pickup for 10 minutes. Should be plenty. The ground letter seems to have gotten quite large. 10 minutes to reach the pickup spot may be an ambitious target, Adonia. How bad can it be? Uh-oh.